So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, put it like this, the material using my body to stab the lady.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason. But since they did that, now they gotta investigate the material my body is exposed to. Since they want to do all that, now they gotta investigate.
It's funny because she's from the Ukraine. She's from Russia, and they got a war. They had a war going on against the United States. So I'm just trying to understand, out of all people, why her?
Hey, it ain't. I don't have nothing. Hey, they just lashed out on her. That's what happened. They lashed out on her. Who else was working the album? Who was working the material? Whoever was working the material? They lashed out on her.
Well, here's a part that a lot of people may be missing in regards to this. In case you guys didn't know, in January, Brown was arrested and charged with the misuse of 911 after a police welfare check, the Charlotte Observer reported. During that incident, officers said that he bizarrely claimed a man-made material inside his body was controlling him as he ate and as he walked and talked, according to an affidavit cited by the outlet. A Daily Mail review of the police records found that he was charged with misusing 911 as recently as January, when he told cops he believed that someone had given him a man-made material that controlled his actions. So this man literally believed that something inside of him was controlling the way he acted. And here's my problem with that, guys. We need to call this out for what it is, as opposed to just brushing it off as mental health issue. I'm going to call it for what it is. It's demonic possession. And I know some of you are probably going to scoff at that right now, but demonic possession is absolutely real. And here's the problem: when you don't call it for what it really is and you just refer to it as simply a mental health disorder. Let me remind you of the case of the Greyhound bus beheading. You guys remember that? The tale of Vince Lee, who left Canadians reeling in disgust after beheading his fellow bus passenger Tim McLean in 2008. Well, guess what happened to this guy? The man who chopped off another passenger's head, guys. Vince Lee, the man who beheaded a passenger on a Greyhound bus, was given an absolute discharge. Canada man who beheaded bus passenger, granted freedom. Will Baker, formerly known as Vince Lee, killed 22-year-old Tim McLean after hearing what he thought was the voice of God in his head telling him what to do. He was deemed not criminally responsible, and he received mental health treatment. A review board of the Manitoba ordered his discharge without monitoring, saying he did not pose a significant threat. Like, this is literally the guy who chopped somebody's head off, guys. Vince Lee, the man who was found not criminally responsible for beheading a man on a Greyhound bus in 2008, has been granted absolute discharge. The Manitoba Criminal Code Review Board ordered the discharge on Friday, saying Lee, now known as Will Baker, does not pose a significant threat. Baker was found to have been suffering from untreated schizophrenia when he stabbed, beheaded, and partially cannibalized Tim McLean, a 22-year-old. Well, guess what, guys? Brown here has also been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And if we allow, for what the mayor of Charlotte would like to see, this being addressed as a mental health issue, there's a very good chance that this monster, this demon-possessed man, will just get off scot-free, maybe go into a facility to be treated for his mental health issues, when that could be his fate, when we call this a mental health issue instead of, bluntly calling it out for what it is, demonic possession, without the fear of being scoffed and laughed at by, people who just brush that sort of thing off. Guys, it's indeed very, very real, and that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention today, that if this case goes down the route of this man just suffering from schizophrenia, he was just, crazy, and we have to treat him with compassion and diligence and a commitment like we do with people who suffer from cancer or heart disease. We could see this case going down the same road that this one went, guys, where this guy was let off scot-free after he was literally hearing voices telling him to kill the passenger on that bus. So this is something we cannot allow to happen for the sake of Iryna Zarutska. We must see justice, but thankfully, guys, justice ultimately will be served. Justice will come at the hands of God when this man faces judgment from God eventually when he does die. And so thank God for that. There is that justice will ultimately be served. So in the meantime, though, guys, this man needs to get what's coming to him. Absolute prison time. He must be locked away for life. We cannot see the same thing come as a result of mental illness, which is what happened to this guy, who I believe was also demonically possessed.
So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, put it like this, the material used in my body to stab the lady.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason. But since they did that, now they gotta investigate the material my body is supposed to. Since they want to do all that, now they gotta investigate.
It's funny because she's from the Ukraine. She's from Russia, and they got a war. They had a war going on against the United States. So I'm just trying to understand, out of all people, why her?
Hey, it ain't. I don't have nothing. They just lashed out on her. That's what happened. They lashed out on her. Whoever was working the material, they lashed out on her.